Hi everybody, I'm Peter Hain, Secretary of State for Northern Ireland and for Wales, and I'm a candidate for the deputy leadership of the party. Ian Davis has asked, how will being an MP for a Welsh constituency and my role as Northern Ireland and Welsh Secretary go down with Middle England in a potential Brown-Hain Labour partnership? It's very straightforward. I'm not Welsh, but I'm proud to represent a Welsh constituency. We're a United Kingdom Parliament, and anybody's entitled to stand for any position. What matters is whether you can win marginal English seats as well as Labour heartlands in England, Scotland and Wales. I've got support from MPs whose actual future depends on winning next time in marginal seats. They believe that I can help win trust in their constituencies, and I've also got support from traditional Labour heartlands. So I don't think it matters whether you're an English constituency, a Scottish constituency, or in my case a Welsh constituency as your base. What matters what you stand for, how you can win trust with the public, which is our priority, and how we can rebuild the progressive coalition which we won with in 1997, but which has fractured away in successive elections, and millions of voters have deserted us, and that is our task, and we need to win those voters back in marginal seats as well as in Labour heartlands. John Roberts asked me what qualities I'll bring to the deputy leadership. First of all, I'm a vigorous campaigner. Everybody knows that. I've been that all my life, from my days in the anti-apartheid movement right the way through to helping us win council and parliamentary and assembly seats in the case of elections in Britain. Also because I've always spoken my mind. I've been a loyal team player in government, but I've always told it as it is and told it straight, and I think as a government we've got to break through all the spin and do precisely that. And perhaps most important of all for the party at this moment, I'm a unifier. I've got support from people who've been absolutely loyal to the government, MP colleagues, and I've got support from some who've been rebels from time to time. I've also got support from people right across the party, trade unionists and grassroots members, who feel that the government has not been listening to them sufficiently. So I will be the voice of the grassroots in the cabinet, and I'll be a listening deputy leader, building trust, building support, like I've done bringing together people in Northern Ireland with this historic achievement, one of our proudest as a Labour government, of ending the political and sectarian conflict in Northern Ireland. That's required working with people and bridging differences, making people feel they can move forward together. Tony Richardson said, I know you agree that the party has to reconnect with the grassroots and trade unionists. How would you go about that task? First of all, it's very important that we make policy, which has been the big bugbear over recent years in government, in partnership with trade unionists and with party members and of course backbench MP colleagues in the Parliamentary Labour Party. That hasn't been the case. We've bounced policies too much on the party. It's created a lot of ill will. People have left, and there's quite a distance opened up between the trade union movement and the government. That's unhealthy. We can't win on that basis. We've got to bring people together by operating a proper partnership, and I would see my role as being the voice for the grassroots in the cabinet and the voice for the cabinet to the grassroots, because it's a two-way process. Being in government involves taking tough decisions that aren't always understood outside in the party. But being in government also means that it is the party that really matters, and the party's views are paramount, and individual members who do all the hard work of fundraising, of leafleting, of canvassing, of campaigning all the year round to enable people like me to have privileged positions in the cabinet representing the party to the country, people have got to be listened to. The grassroots has got to be listened to. Kevin Hutchins said, what priority will you give to overseas aid, debt relief and redevelopment? An absolute priority. I was born and brought up in Africa. My parents were jailed and imprisoned in the old South Africa fighting apartheid, and we had to leave when I was a teenager and come to Britain, and I ended up being an anti-apartheid leader over here. I think that what we've done in overseas aid and development support is one of our proudest achievements as a Labour government. We've trebled our overseas aid budget. We've led the world in lifting billions of pounds of debt off the poorest countries of the world, and we're promoting now and seeking to pressure our international partners in getting trade justice so that the poor countries of the world can trade their goods and services without the protectionist barrier that Europe erects around itself, and rich countries like the United States of America do as well. We've got to have a fair relationship with African and other poor countries to enable them to succeed economically and lift themselves out of poverty. Mark, you said Mark C, you said if you're elected as deputy leader, will you ensure that healthy living for all forms a major part of the government's agenda in the 60 months to go to the London Olympics in 2012? If so, what innovative proposals do you have to implement a program of healthy living in terms of regular exercise, healthy eating and drinking for our children? This is absolutely vital. If we're going to have a healthy population capable of winning Olympics tournaments in the future, but also ensuring that it isn't a drain on our health service, which is extremely costly, that people do look after themselves, they do eat well, they exercise well, and also they're careful about drinking, then I think we've got to prioritise this as a government, as we've done. And we've got to do much more of it. Youngsters should be encouraged to take part in sport, as I was as a child and as my two boys were. That's very, very important for healthy living. Eating carefully is also important. I myself eat very, very carefully. It's one of the only ways that I can sustain the pressure of doing more than 90 hours a week, every week of the year pretty well, as a government cabinet minister with demanding jobs. And I think that, together with being moderate and sensible about drinking, is very important if people want to enjoy the full opportunities that life can bring them. And clearly that's a major priority for our government, a preventative health care programme, and not just all the excellent work we've done in investing in our hospitals to bring down waiting times and make sure that people are now getting better care in every respect than they've ever had. But it shouldn't be just relying on our health service and our hospitals to pick up the tab. It should also be ourselves taking responsibility and charge for our own health and our own lifestyles, so that we don't become a burden on others, and indeed we enjoy a decent life with rude health. Thank you very much for all your questions, and please keep in touch with me via my website, which is hainforlabour.org. That's Hain and then the numeral 4 labour.org. Thank you very much.